Hello, thank you for joining my group today. Today's group is going to be about creating a resume. So first we'll go over the purpose of a resume. So employers use resumes throughout the hiring process to learn more about their applicants and see, who would be a good fit. Your resume should always be easy to read. It should summarize your accomplishments and skills and highlight relevant experience. So I just, added here that you just want a summary of those accomplishments and skills, highlight the relevant experience, and then you also may need multiple versions of your resume tailored to the jobs you're applying for. For example, you may have a resume specifically for a job working in a bakery. You could also have a resume tailored for working in childcare. There's many of us, we've, worked in many different fields and, we're open to working in, 3 different positions, 3 different fields. So if you don't have, a specific resume for a specific job, you can always go in and take that main resume and you can just tailor it to fit the job that you're applying for. And I will add it at the end, but there is this site that I use. It's called onetonline.org, I believe, but it's amazing. You can go on there and you can search any field, any job, and then it gives you an entire list of skills needed for that job. Salary information, and the way that it words things, is so professional. And I mean, I could have never worded things that way on my own. So it's an excellent tool. I would use it all the time when I would help people build a resume. So again, it should summarize your accomplishments, your skills, and highlight the relevant experience. Okay, so now we are going to go over how to build a resume. I will start off saying that resumes, it seems like they change very often. The styles are completely different. Even as I was putting this group together, I was like, oh my gosh, like things have changed even in the past year. I feel like resumes have gotten more detailed. They're in color. People are putting their pictures on them. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I am probably more old school, but things are always changing. So just keep that in mind. So in your resume, you always want to obviously add your contact information. You want them to be able to contact you so they can, schedule an interview. You want to include a summary and objective, add your work experience, include your education, list relevant skills, explain your achievements and awards, use a business format, include keywords, review samples of resumes in line with the job that you're applying for, and then select a template. But we will go over each one of these in more detail. All right, so the first item on your resume should always be your first and last name, a phone number, and email address. So you want to make sure that they can reach you. You want to make sure that your phone number is up to date. Just check for any spelling errors. Make sure your email address is correct. You can also consider adding additional contact information. Some people, they will add LinkedIn, like their LinkedIn link. They may have like a web page. So there's, a lot of people are adding websites. I've noticed that as well. So let's see. So for example, you can include your professional networking platform page or an online portfolio link. So that would be like the LinkedIn, I believe, that people are adding. and then definitely your address, city, state. So a lot of companies, they prefer to hire employees, local, that are local, to reduce relocation time and expenses. So definitely, you want to make sure your contact information is up to date. I added an example here, and as you can see, they have their email address. It looks like they also added a campus address and a home address. Again, you do not have to do that. I suggest just, using your home address. All right, so that is the contact information. Okay, so the next thing that you want to add is you want to include a summary and objective. Now, you can do your own research. You can do what you would like. I usually would just do an objective, but it's up to you. I mean, I don't know. Again, resumes are always changing. I am always like less is more. But then again, as I was looking at different resumes and templates today, I was like, whoa, some of them are really busy. So, but anyway, so especially now that a lot of hiring is done online, a lot of applicants are filling out applications online. So employers, they really do not have a lot of time to be looking through all of these resumes. So they only spend a short time reviewing your resume, and you really want to display your positive qualities concisely. Again, they don't have a lot of time, and I mean, they can have a job posting and there could be 500, 900 applicants. I mean, it's a different world we live in now. So anyway, these statements should definitely highlight the qualities that make you an attractive candidate, while also describing the engaging yet professional personality that you can bring to the workplace. And again, utilize the internet. There are so many examples out there. There are videos. You just have to find, I guess, what works for you, what you prefer, and also, I believe the job you're applying for. So your summary statement should include a concise overview of your work experience. Try to focus on work experience that relates to the roles in which you're applying to stand out more to hiring managers. So you definitely, again, use that onetonline.org, and you can put in whatever position you're applying for, and it will give you statements that you can add to your resume that are relevant to the job you're applying for. And that will stand out to the hiring managers. For a resume objective, you should provide a brief display of your skills and qualifications as they relate to the specific position to which you are applying. So I added this example. So this person's objective, it's very simple and to the point. An entry-level position in the healthcare industry, enabling me to use my business and communication skills to enhance a company's bottom line. So, you just want to be straight to the point. Again, hiring managers, they do not have a lot of time. They do use they look for certain keywords, and that's another thing that you want to pay attention to, and we'll go over that in another slide here. So, okay, so next you want to add your work experience to your resume. You just want to keep a simple list of your previous positions. I always told people, just keep it relevant to the position you're applying for. Sometimes I had people that were applying for jobs and they were going back like 20 years, and it really, their experience and accomplishments were amazing, don't get me wrong, but you just don't need to go back 20, 30 years. Again, hiring managers don't have a lot of time, and they really do not want to sort through all of that. So I always told people, just keep it 10 years, your past 10 years experience, and keep it relevant. However, I did read online that they are saying 15 years. So again, just go with your preference, your style, but just be sure to add, like in this example, the company name, city, state is usually enough, and then dates. And a lot of people, they can struggle with remembering specific dates. So even if you put the years, if you can try your best and remember what years you worked in that position, that's perfect. In this example, they listed their position, which you want to do that, and then they just added 3 bullet points to highlight their achievements. You do not have to put 3 bullet points. You can simply have 1 bullet point. You don't have to have any bullet points. Again, it's your preference. It's also, dependent on the job that you're applying for. So, just again, utilize the internet. Indeed.com has templates as well. So you just have to find what works for you. And if these resumes, these fancy ones that they have now, if they are overwhelming to you, don't worry about it. Don't use it. Just go with what is simple and you prefer. Okay, so the next section of your resume is going to include your education. Employers are always looking for some type of education on the resume. So you definitely, if you don't have a college degree, you definitely want to put your GED, you want to put a high school diploma. You always want to list the highest level of your education completed first, and then you can list other degrees and diplomas. So you also would want to add any certifications or active licenses in this section. So, and then if you are currently in school earning your degree, you would want to put the date that you started your coursework and then just leave the end date blank. And then it's not necessary to put like your GPA unless they ask for that information specifically. And also, if the job is requiring, certain coursework or, a specialty, you can add that. It just, again, kind of depends on the job that you are applying for. So in this example, they have the university that they attended and then the bachelor's degree. They did list their GPA. And again, that's not necessary unless, they really require or ask of that. And then they also added the related coursework. So that is the education section. Okay, so the next section, near the end of your resume, you want to have a section for relevant skills and achievements. And you also want to include hard skills and soft skills. So when I started employment services, I had no idea what this even meant. So I included this here. So hard skills are more of the technical knowledge or training that you've gained either through life experience, including your job or your schooling, your education. So some of the hard skills would be someone that's bilingual, data mining, whatever that is, storage systems and management, programming languages. So a lot of things that I really have no knowledge about, Adobe software. Yeah, so, and then you also want to include soft skills, and those are things that are personal habits and just traits that have kind of shaped how you work with others and how you get along on the job. So those things are, integrity, effective communication, creativity, problem solving, organization, willingness to learn, and empathy. So, each one of us brings something different to the table, and, that's what makes us all unique. So, don't worry if you don't have any hard skills to add on your resume, that's okay. I honestly would not have a lot that I could add as far as hard skills. I mean, I have very basic computer knowledge, email, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. Like I would not, I don't even know what some of these things are. And then also, if you don't have a lot of soft skills, don't worry. These are all things, again, that we can learn. So I hope that is helpful. So that is the skills and achievements section. Okay, so next I just wanted to add words that you can include on your resume. Again, employers, they do not have a lot of time to review your resume. Honestly, some postings, they will have 1,000 applicants. So, you definitely want your resume to be clear and easy to read. You always want to use, a very basic, clean font like Arial or Times New Roman. You want to keep your font size between 10 and 12 points. You want to make sure that your font is clear and it's not, too unprofessional or flashy. That will stand out. You want it to be readable, professional. And you also want to make sure that you don't have too much blank, like white space on your resume. It is hard. I've always taught people, keep it one page. Your resume should be one page. However, today when I was online researching things, a lot of people, they are having like 2 pages, 3 pages. And again, it depends on the job you're applying for. It depends on your skill set. It depends on the qualifications, the education that you need for that position. But definitely, I would try to keep it to 1 page. But anyway, you can also, you want to include the most relevant information, of course. But just some words to include on your resume that really kind of like power words, that hiring managers may be looking for are listed here. I won't read all of them, but, achieved, created, developed, established, influenced, managed, resolved, volunteered. I mean, these are all kind of power words and, keywords that they will be looking for in a resume. And again, you want to take that job description and really read through it and, write down those keywords that they are looking for in an applicant. So again, you do want to keep your resume brief without leaving out key information. Again, they do not have a lot of time. In fact, research has shown that hiring managers tend to spend only 6 seconds per resume. So if your resume has old or irrelevant information, such as jobs held over 10 years ago or, minor degrees, it can really distract from key information. So, try to include only work experience, achievements, education, and skills relevant to that employer. And again, these are some words, that you can include. And again, the internet is your friend. If you are struggling, to piece your resume together, There are so many examples, there's so many resources, so definitely utilize that. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to touch on this topic a little more. Keywords in a job posting. So you definitely want to read the job description and the job posting, obviously, that is of interest to you. You want to study each job description for keywords to include in your resume. So, I added this example here that I got from Indeed. It's for a daytime baker, and it lists the full job description. And as you read through it, there's some keywords that kind of jump out to me. So, they're looking for someone that's friendly, has customer service oriented skills, and they're reliable. So those are all soft skills that we talked about earlier. So I would definitely write down those 3 keywords. And then also, if you continue, it looks like they are looking for someone that has some baking experience, I would imagine, mixing dough, decorating cookies, and they even said in there, added that it's easy to learn. So it looks like they are willing to teach you to learn how to decorate cookies. So if you have any of this experience, I helped a woman create a resume. She was an older woman, and she was completely changing her field, and she wanted to be a baker. She wanted to work in a bakery. And so she didn't have any, professional baking experience. However, she had baked her entire life. She said that she baked all the cakes, for her grandkids' birthdays and her children's birthdays. And she would always, that's how she brought her family together. And she was very big on family. So, I told her, I said, let's highlight that, so we added that in her resume, that she had like 30, 40 years of baking experience. So anyway, you can even add things like that. If you continue reading, I do see it says make necessary preparations for the day. So, again, you could put, that you're organized, and you like to plan ahead. So, it also says no experience necessary. We will train you. You must work well with others and have a professional demeanor. So again, I would write these things down on a piece of paper, type them out, and just make sure that you add those keywords, key phrases in your resume. Because again, hiring managers, they don't have a lot of time, and they are just looking for those keywords that pop out at them. So I hope that is helpful. Okay, and just a quick recap, the internet is your friend. You can use the internet. You can review resume examples. I highly recommend that. When crafting your resume, you do want to study examples of resumes from that industry, for inspiration, and it's really helpful. You can seriously Google bakery resume, and there are so many ideas. And I'm not saying like copy it word for word, make it your own, but I do best when I have an example of something and kind of see the format and how it's laid out, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And it's kind of fun, to put your own spin on it. So again, make it simple, easy to read, make it brief. As you will see on the internet, there's a lot of different opinions about that. And then definitely include numbers such as years in a certain field position. So, if there are a lot of jobs that, they want you to be in a certain field for at least a year or at least 2 years. So if you have that experience, add that, because again, they're looking for, keywords, and they don't have a lot of time. So definitely include those numbers if you have experience in that field. Okay, so this is kind of the fun part. You get to select a template. So you can draft your own resume using a word processor. There's so many resume building websites now. I know Indeed has one. You can go on Word and you can type in resume, and there are a million different templates. So it's kind of fun. I'm kind of a nerd, so I like that stuff, but I even went online, and you can order templates off of like Etsy for like $5, and they're beautiful. I mean, they're very clean, they're very, modern. They're really cool, but again, you can do it for free. So I would definitely recommend that. But yeah, you can choose, more of the classic, like simple resume. This one that just, has first name, last name. Sorry, it's kind of hard to read. It's kind of small, but it's just very basic to me. It's just very simple. I kind of prefer the more simple resumes, but again, I'm kind of old school. Or you can go with the more recent resume, and this is what they're doing. And it does stand out, I have to admit. They use color. They have, her picture is on there. I don't know how I feel about that, but, I guess with, everyone having social media, I guarantee you they are looking at applicants anyway and just seeing, what your social media is like. I guarantee it. So, yeah, like there's many different styles. If these busier ones overwhelm you, just go with a basic template, and you can even Google simple resume template. And yeah, because sometimes it gets too busy and it can really overwhelm people. So, yeah, so that's kind of the fun part. Okay, and a very important part of resume writing is, of course, proofreading and editing. Before you send your resume, I would do several rounds of proofreading to make sure there's no spelling or grammar errors. There is spell check on computers now, so you shouldn't have any mistakes, but it has happened to me. And it's so embarrassing. So it's something that's so simple, and there's nothing worse than being in an interview and you hand a resume and you're looking at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I misspelled a word. So not a good look. So definitely, there's proofreading programs, tools. I've even sent, my resume to my sister. She's, she was in HR for 20 years, and I really look up to her, and she's really smart. So I'll send her my resume and just ask her to proofread it. Yeah, so, just have, if you have to have, 3 people look it over, do spell check, just definitely you do not want a mistake on your resume. And again, I'm only sharing that because I've had it happen and it was so awkward. So anyway, that is about it. And I am going to add some links at the end just for sites that I use, when I've helped people build resumes and even my own. But I hope this group was helpful.